Hey guys, Haley here. So as we move into the new year, into 2022, I thought it'd be nice to make some videos to just reflect on 2021. And I did want to also do like a figure awards, so I'm gonna do a figure awards in another video. In this video, I'm gonna dedicate to kind of reflecting on my own collection and look at the best things that I picked up in my own collection. I think this year my figure collection grew very much exponentially. This year was the first time I kind of took this YouTube thing a bit more seriously and dedicated a lot of time to it. That meant that a lot of the funds that I made from YouTube I can put back into buying more figures, which is probably why I bought a lot this year. I think this year I also discovered a few figure kind of niches or figure types that I really like. It's like quarter scale bunnies. I kind of went crazy on that this year. Also, I guess some general, a little like tastefully lewd figures I was really into this year as well. And I'd like to think that I refined my tastes this year, but I also just filmed my pre-orders video and I don't know if my taste is that refined because there were a few figures that I was like, oh, maybe I should cancel this. So I'm still a little bit all over the place, but I guess that's just figure collecting. But enough rambling, let me start by telling you guys the top 5 figures that I picked up in 2021. So in 5th place, we have the only freeing B-style figure on this list, and you can probably guess who she is if you saw the video where I unboxed her, but it is the, oh, she's quite big, oh my god. It is the X10 Combat Bunny B-style quarter scale figure by Freeing. This was, I believe, the most expensive, if not one of the most expensive pre-orders I had for 2021. And I think she's worth it. I would get her again if I had the choice. The detail on this figure is so amazing, and I just love the concept and the source art for this figure so much. I have this thing about girls and tactical gear. I love it. This figure also proves that Freeing can deliver on really stellar details and really nice hair sculpts, which is nice to know, but kind of sad when you see yet another B-style that you feel like could do with more detail or a better sculpt, you know? All right, moving on to 4th place. We have a figure that I think no one will be surprised is on this list. It is the Xiaohua Miku 1/7, I believe, by Mythos. Obviously, if you're into figures, like this figure has been talked about, photoed about, posted about so much, but she is worth the hype. Like, she is a beautiful figure. This was my most anticipated pre-order from 2021, and I think she delivered on the hype that I had for her. I think she's beautiful. When I opened her, I was really hyped, and I would have bet that she would have come number 1 on my list, but after reflecting on some of the other things I picked up, she ended up here on 4th place, which is still, you know, a very prestigious place to be at, but yeah, I have a really strong top 3. In 3rd place, also a figure I'm sure no one is surprised to see on my list, it is the Jean Alter by Alter. So this was my holy grail figure for the longest time, and I don't actually know if I have a kind of a new holy grail to replace this one. But yeah, I picked her up this year. I had a video for it. It was big hype, and this figure especially means more to me because it was the first thing I bought with the YouTube income that I'd been saving up. I am slightly salty that she is getting a re-release, but I didn't pay, you know, too much more over retail, so I'm okay. And because she's re-released, if you're thinking about getting her, I highly recommend it. She is an amazing figure. Stellar, stunning. I don't have her in person to put here because I'm moving house again, so she's actually all packed up. So we'll leave Miku here for 2 rounds. All right, so moving on to 2nd place, or the silver medal. Eagle-eyed viewers may notice something has disappeared from the shelves behind me, and that's because 2nd place goes to Caroline Yuri. Confetti. Of course, the phenomenal, fabulous Caroline had to make an appearance in my top 5. This was the first ever binding quarter scale I pre-ordered. I remember being like so nervous and being like, oh, it's a bit naughty, isn't it? Buying a buying figure, but I really am happy that I did. I love this figure. She's so extra, you know, she's so magnificent. Her elaborate bunny suit with all of the heart details and her crazy pigtails really make her stand out from among a lot of the other binding bunnies, and I really like that about her. I think she is quite sought after now in the aftermarket because people have eyes and they can see how amazing she is. So, you know, I feel really chuffed that I have it, you know. Thank God I put her down. She's quite heavy actually, not to, you know, shame a lady for her weight, but she weighs like this much. All right, and finally we've come to the prestigious #1 spot. Drum roll please, Caroline. The #1 top figure that I picked up in 2021 is the Wisteria scale figure by Mythos. Woo! Yep, this is the Wisteria Night Hag Lilith figure by Mythos or Mythos. This is based off an original illustration by Ask, and honestly, I keep going back to this figure. I always think about it, I always talk about it, I always look at it. It gets the like Detolf gold spot. It sits in the top cabinet of the Detolf because it's the one I want to see all the time. This is such a beautiful figure. I love the execution of this. I love the design of it. I love that she's a bad bitch with a scythe and like a heart thing made out of bones behind her. This figure really cemented my love for Mythos as a figure manufacturer, especially with their OC designs. And this has to be my favorite OC design I've seen them do so far. I'm hoping to pick up the Little Mermaid design in 2022. That's probably my second favorite OC that they do, so yeah, I love her. All right, so now that we've talked about scale figures, we're gonna take a break from the best of the figures to move on to my 5 favorite art books that I picked up this year. I went pretty art book crazy this year, and there's still more to come. I've got some still in the mail to me. I think the most dangerous thing is that I worked out a fairly cost-effective way that let me buy Japanese art books from Amazon JP, and I could ship them to me on a boat. So I pretty much had a few art books that I would ship to me every 2 or 3 months. That's why they just kept coming. I don't have all of them here to show you. Like I said, I'm moving house, so a few of these I've already packed away in boxes. In 5th place, we have the Nier art book. Nier has such amazing character and world design that putting all of that into this beautiful luxury art book, you know, it's what I was waiting for. All of the art in this art book is just so nice and atmospheric. It's stunning. The next steps for me is to somehow get my hands on the Nier Automata vinyl, because if there is one thing better than Nier art, it's the damn Nier soundtrack. So good. Fingers crossed I get that in 2022. In 4th place, we have the Polaris art book by Mei Yoko. So Mei Yoko was already one of my favorite artists that I followed on Instagram. I've actually bought a few keychains from their shop before, and I just love their art book so much. I love the art style of like mixing the skies or the oceans into like everyday objects or gaming consoles. It's a treat for my eyeballs. Yeah, maybe that's the best way to describe it. It feels really yummy for my eyes to look at Miyoko's art. I also love this really cute square format. I think it's perfect. Ugh. All right, moving on to 3rd place. The award or whatever position goes to Visions 2021. I actually talked about this in my recent favorites video that I put out. This is a compilation art book of a bunch of Japanese artists, and it's the one that I've found the most artists to, you know, follow on Twitter and Instagram from. And it also has a lot of the artists that I'm already a fan of, and I love finding artists that I already know in these kind of books. It makes me feel like, oh my god, I'm so tuned in to the Japanese anime art scene. It's got Lamb, Lack, Saitom, Unmi, D-Smile, Neko, Swab. I pretty much know all of those artists because there's figures based off their original art. But no, yeah, I highly recommend this if it looks like your cup of tea. There is a 2022. I only picked 2021 because I looked through this one a lot more than I have looked through that one. And this one's got a more aesthetic cover. All right, in second place, this is the art book with my favorite cover of the year. And it's this one. It is the Ushimisudoki art collection by Daisuke Richard. This is my second Daisuke Richard art book, but I am obsessed with the cover of this one. I love this kind of flip out with the red underneath. Very cool. Luckily, this has more than a cool cover. It is filled with a bunch of amazing art. I really love Daisuke Richard's art style. I love the thin line art, the way that it's colored, as well as just the topic. It's always cool anime girls not looking at the camera and really cool outfits vibe. All right, and moving on to first place, my favorite art book I bought in 2021 is this. It is Fashion Illustration Outfit on the Day. So this is another compilation art book. This one has 40 different fashionista creators. And yeah, that is why I just love this art book. I love art of really fashionable people, and this one is chock full of that. I love that it has 40 different artists in it, because then you get 40 different art and clothing styles to look through, and each artist has like a 4-page spread at least to show you, you know, what they want to show you. The other cool thing about this art book is that different pages have different papers that best suit that art style. So some of them are kind of a glossy finish, whereas some of them are more papery finish, and I think that's just a really nice touch. Highly recommend this if you're looking for both art and outfit inspiration. I think there's a second one of these that's come out for 2022. There's definitely similar art books, but this one has been my favorite so far. All right, now let's jump back to figures, and I will tell you guys my top 5 Nendoroids that I picked up in 2021. 2 quick notes before we start. First is I basically don't have any of these Nendoroids actually unboxed. Most of them are packed up because I'm moving again. And second, I have a little bit of an admission to make here. I've kind of ruined Nendoroids for myself because I absolutely hate filming Nendoroid B-roll, because it's all the little parts, it's putting them together and taking them apart. And so I actually have a pile of Nendoroids that I have been meaning to haul in a Nendoroid haul, but I just can't bring myself to do it because I'm like, oh, that's a lot of work for the B-roll. So I won't be including those Nendoroids, but it is a shame because I think some of those would have made it into my top 5 if I got around to opening them. But anyway, let's get to it. My top 5 that I actually opened and displayed in 2021. In 5th place, we have the Hatsune Miku Korin Kimono version. This is just such a beautiful Nendoroid. I love the kind of glittery finish of the kimono and the detail on the kimono. And I think this Nendoroid was a little extra special to me because I knew about the backstory of how it's raising money to restore the Korin kimono. And I just especially love collecting pieces of anime merch that weirdly tie into real life somehow, like all of the racing figures and things like that. All right, let's move on to 4th place. In 4th place, we have the, from FGO, the Ozymandias Nendoroid DX version, or Ascension version, I guess, from Orange Rouge. So Ozymandias is one of my best boys from Fate. I think he's so bloody fit. and he looks cute in Nendoroid form. I thought his Nendoroid was really cute, and he was also pretty cheap to buy, which was a nice bonus. Even though I got the DX version and I can display him with his hair gelled up or down, 100% I prefer him with his hair down, so that's how I intend to only display this one. All right, let's move on to 3rd place. In 3rd place, we have the Reina Nendoroid from Higurashi. So I really got into Higurashi this year with the like sequel airing, I guess, and I just watched it. And perfect timing because they announced and made a Reina Nendoroid, which is so cute. I think Reina as a character is just perfect for Nendoroid form. I think she just looks good, like she looks really right and correct, and it's just really fitting. So actually opening this Nendoroid, I think it was only a few months ago, like reinvigorated a little bit, kind of like my spark for Nendoroids. So she deserves to be in third place. So my second favorite Nendoroid that I picked up in 2021 is one that I picked up all the way back in January or February of the year, and that is the Amelia Nendoroid from ReZero. I mentioned it back in the original video, but this is a Nendoroid that I wanted since her original release, but I didn't watch ReZero then, so I didn't buy it. And so I snagged her in the re-release, and I'm very, very happy to. I think Amelia is genuinely one of the cutest and best Nendoroids out of all of the Nendoroids. Her design just really translated well to Nendoroid form, and the cherry on top is her and her hood. Like, that is so cute. Very worthy for a second place. All right, and so my favorite Nendoroid of the year is, can we get a tiny Nendoroid drum roll, a really quiet Nendoroid one? It is the Snow Parade version of Hatsune Miku. Oh my god, this is still by far my favorite Snow Miku design. I'm just such a sucker for like band geek conductor outfit. I don't know, it's so cute. I'd say that this Nendoroid is my favorite in my collection, not just what I picked up in 2021. Oh, I just thought of the Nadeshiko Nendoroid though. Maybe I won't say that, but she's definitely my favorite from 2021. So cute. It's gonna be tough for any new Snow Miku designs to top this one for me personally, I think. Now, let's move on to some of the more niche things I collect, and I'm gonna show you guys my top 5 Doujins that I picked up this year. So similar to Artbooks, I did pick up a lot of Doujins this year. Most, if not all of them, are all art and illustration Doujins. I kind of worked out, like Artbooks, I worked out how to buy a bunch from Mandarake and ship them on a boat to save money. So I think I made 2 or 3 Doujin orders in 2021. I think I have shown all 5 of my top 5 on my channel. So without further ado, let's get into it. In 5th place, we have the Do You Love Your Mum and her 2-hit multi-target attack. The MILF, the Pochi MILF Doujin. Yeah. So I love Pochi Sensei's art, and I have also grown to love Mamako this year. I don't know if it's just the awesome Mamako figures that came out this year, but I have fallen under her spell, and when I saw that there is a Mamako full color art illustration Doujin, I had to pick it up. The art in this is amazing. It's so colorful and Mamako looks lovely. And I love the bonus of having Mamako and Chio art in this art book as well. Look, it's the bunnies. It's the art of them as bunnies. I actually have this one and I think a second one, but I like this one more because it has the Chio and her as bunnies in it. So that's why this one is in 5th place. Goodbye legitimate art book, hello degenerate Doujins. All right, in 4th place we have FGO illustration 6, but really it's all of the FGO illustration Doujins. This series of illustration Doujins are my favorite to collect of all the FGO ones. The art in here is superb and colorful and lovely, and I love all of the jokes, memes, and references that they have in these. Also, the first page of these always being like a huge "Where's Wally?" filled with really funny character moments is, I don't know, it's just really nice. In 3rd place, we have Ask by Ask. So Ask is one of my favorite illustrators that I discovered in 2021, mainly from the fact that My Ethos makes a lot of figures based off their art. And I think that Ask has a soft spot for Asuka because they drew an entire Asuka illustration book and it's phenomenal. I have never seen Asuka look as beautiful as she does in some of Ask's designs and illustrations. This is unreal. Highly recommend this one if you're an Asuka fan. Similar to Ask by Ask, my second place doujin mixes one of my favorite characters with one of my favorite artists, and that is Violet by Lamb. So Violet is a doujin all for Shuten Doji, one of my favorite FGO servants, and I'm also a huge fan of the Lamb art style, so this was a must-have. I love all of the illustrations in here. I also really like the couple of guest illustrations as well. Look at how amazing that is. Oh my god. There's even a wall scroll of this one that I've seen online that I've been tempted to pick up. Finally, in first place, honestly, I don't really remember if I picked this one up in 2021 or at the end of 2022, but I'm gonna put it anyway because it is by far my favorite. This is the A to Z illustration book by Neko. Now, I first discovered Neko when I saw the A to Z B Mythos figure. Then I looked up their art and I fell in love with it, so I immediately went to buy any piece of art book or art that they sold, and it was this. Flash forward to a year later, there are now 4 figures based off the art from this art book. I love the designs in this so much. I love the tactical wear, the cute girls. It's an amazing combination. So they've pretty much made figures of all of the girls in here. The only one they haven't is this one girl that's labeled Logistics, but she is so cute that I would just want them to make one of her as well. Just finish the book off and then we're done with this. And then we have, you know, 6 amazing figures. Those were pretty much all of the real categories I had, but I thought it'd be fun for as a bonus round, I show you guys some of the favorite clear files I picked up this year. Starting off with some from independent artists, we have this Uresh Kagao one, this one of Jolta and Jean, and this one of FGO illustrations where they're all in a dating sim. Then we've got this double-sided one of Yuki and Kyo. Just think Yuki looks so majestically beautiful on this. This Eurocamp one of Nadeshiko on Rin's head. This super aesthetic one of Enkitu and Gilgamesh. And finally, Chika in a maid outfit. Enough said. All right, that about covers it for everything I wanted to show you guys. If I wasn't packing, I would have liked to show you guys my favorite badge, acrylic charm, piece of merch, you know, all the other categories. But unfortunately, I have most of that already packed up, so it was going to be difficult for me to pick out 5, you know, just from my head. So maybe next year we can do that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know what was your favorite pickup of 2021. Super keen to find out and add some stuff to my wish list probably. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Here's to cheap shipping prices in 2022, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye!